with Jeremy Piven, the new movie, The Goods. Congratulations, man. Welcome to the bar.
I love it. Thank you. It's good to be here, man. Yeah, okay. Here we go. It's begun.
It's on.
It's on.
How'd the screening go last night?
The screening. Did you guys make it?
I was there.
Oh, awesome.
Do you remember him?
Does
he look familiar?
You guys are probably like consulting with your stylist about it. I mean, with the heavy social calendar you guys have, you couldn't make it to. Well, Jeremy Piven's in town. He's got a new movie with Will Ferrell. You know, the thing is, I'm gonna get my pinky nails painted, so I can't make it to the movie.
Right.
How about that, kids? They can't show up to the goods. Anyway,
I was there, though.
I know.
I was there. I loved it.
What is your take on it?
I thought it was ludicrously awesome. And I don't know if you were going for that, but I mean, like, it was so much in the vein of the Talladega Nights, Step Brothers. There's stuff in there that made me laugh. I'm like, how do you get away with that? And I'm almost wondering, too, like, as far as, did you have, like, all these jokes and concepts first that you're putting in the overall story arc, or was it, here's the story arc, let's go find material?
I brought the script to Adam McKay. First of all, it's the greatest compliment ever, because Talladega and Anchorman and Step Brothers are my favorite comedies, amongst my favorite comedies of all time. So, and Adam even said, who wrote and directed all those movies, he goes, I'm putting out trailers right now, they're the funniest trailers I've ever put out. I'm like, wait a minute, you directed my favorite movies of all time. How is that possible? So that's why I'm just on the road right now selling the metal, which is in the movie, selling the goods, the cars. So yeah, it's basically, the script is all there. It was really, really funny. And so it's almost like they say that the wide receiver lives in fear of the perfectly thrown pass. It's like I read the script and go, oh man.
Too good.
It's so good that, like, if I mess this up, it's my fault completely. But, it worked out so well. I mean, each character is like, you can't beat that character. Ed Helms from The Office and Hangover, and Dr. Ken from The Hangover, and Craig Robinson. We got 4 out of the 6 guys from The Hangover in our movie. I think you should call it The Hangover 2 Electric Boogaloo.
but you got the Apatow guys. You got Ferrell there, and I guess that's the other thing too, because I know, like, Ferrell especially, he loves doing a lot of the improv stuff. Did you guys get into that at all? Did you stick to it? I mean, you got so many talented comedic guys.
Will improvised almost all of his stuff, and he's just a lesson, because it's funny, sometimes you'll improv and you're like, oh, that's kind of funny, but you're going to lose this crowd, or they won't really understand, but this people, Will improvise, and it's like everything that he says is funny, and there isn't a demographic that won't get what he's saying. I mean, you think that he just got lucky, just a big guy who just happens to kind of be funny. It's like there's such a method to his madness, you know what I mean? He's such a kind of a stone cold comedy killer.
How do you play on that, though? Because I read an article, something about you doing 30 takes on one scene during Entourage, because you want every piece of it to be perfect. How does that play with you? Is it refreshing, or is it just mind-boggling for you?
No, because I think it's like anything else, because I've been lucky enough to be an actor since I was 8 years old, so that, like, when I do Entourage, I want to do it to the point where you can use the full take without ever having to cut, and I really want it to kind of be as good as it possibly can. And then you hit the ground running with someone like Will. I'm kind of like, I don't have any rust on me. Like, I don't take breaks, so I can get to a set, because I grew up doing improv, and I started at Second City with a guy named Chris Farley back in the day, so I can match up with Will and be totally respectful and play off of it and be okay, simply because I've kind of like, I have a reference for it, you know what I mean? And it's like, if I was rusty and I took like a year or 2 off or whatever, I would probably get crushed, run over by someone like Will. But I had a great time, and he just killed it, as you saw. I mean, the only problem with this movie was there was too much funny stuff. We had to literally cut stuff out because people were laughing well into the next scene, and they didn't know what the movie was about. What was the movie about? I loved it.
And you've touched everything, though. I mean, I was looking at it last night. Well, when he was in the movie, I do all the research, so looking at it.
I was laughing.
Dramaturg. Right, exactly. But dude, Ellen, Larry Sanders, Seinfeld, you've touched, and then going into, obviously, Entourage, but then everything you've touched, I mean, you've touched gold, man. I mean, you're that part of, you're gold. You've touched gold.
Well, yet I feel like tin. That's no. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like, the first TV show I did was Carol Burnett's return to television, so I got to like experience Carol Burnett and then right into Shandling and then right into Seinfeld and then the actors I've worked with are like, De Niro and Dustin Hoffman and Morgan Freeman and all these guys. So I just basically have so much respect for these people that I just wanted to be around them. And we're not going to be around forever, so you gotta catch them when you can. And you don't know how that affects you, and you don't know how it'll manifest. But just being around people that you think are brilliant, and seeing how they work. And Dustin Hoffman said the most brilliant thing to me. He said one time we did a movie called Runaway Jury, and I played kind of his right-hand man, and I had the speech to him, and he just said, "Do it again, do it again, do it again. I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand what you're saying." And I was like, I can't make it any clearer. He goes, just all you have to do, forget about your homework of any of the specifics. Forget about everything, where the camera is, everything. Just simply do one thing in this take. Make me understand what you're saying. And it's genius, and it sounds so simple. It's the simplest thing ever. But if you can literally do that when they yell action, just like look at the other guy and make him understand what you're saying, and your point of concentration is the other person, then it's almost like a hockey fight. You pull the guy's jersey up and you go red, you go crazy, and then you snap out of it and you're like, what just happened? That's kind of the way I feel what happened with this movie, what happens with Entourage, is you get into that groove and you go to that place, and then you go into a theater and watch it and go, wow, that's what happened. And watching it, you're just watching something that's real.